Hello, Rebel, and welcome back to my life. Let's have a chat today, just the two of us, without the other guy. Listen, I've got to say, the responses to last week's video have floored me. You came into my comments with so much love and so much reassurance. I felt it through the internet. I have been frequently emotional in the last week reading some of the incredible things you've said about that video, so thank you. I do feel a minor obligation to clarify that I'm fine. A lot of you were very concerned about me, and please, I want you to know that that is not necessary. The hardest part and the most painful part about last week's video was having the conversation with myself that led to the realizations that led to the making of that video. Like, what you saw in that video was a dramatization of what was going on in my own head, but by the time I sat down to film, I had already reached the resolution at the end of the video. For those of you who were worried that I was being too harsh on myself, trust me, I was not. That conversation with myself and that hard truth was the exact kick in the ass that I needed. Tough love is a really problematic idea, right? Because that phrase is used so often to justify actions and attitudes that are not based in love at all, but which are actually really harmful and abusive. But if there is a redeemable kernel of truth in the idea of tough love, that is what I was trying to demonstrate in that video. This is a me thing, okay? This does not have to apply to you, although it's okay if it does, but sometimes I need a kick in the ass. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, the correct response to my own lack of accomplishment is not to be understanding, but to recognize that I am being lazy. I can be a lazy person. That can be an accurate description of me. And I am the best judge of when I am being lazy, and trust me, recently, I've been lazy, and I had to come to terms with that. This is not self-flagellation. This is not me saying I'm a piece of shit. This is me doing some self-reflection and taking the actions I know I will respond to. And boy, did I respond to it, because let's take a look at what we got done this week. In the last week, I clocked 33 hours of work in the chair producing my next book projects. And that is in addition to 7 hours spent on video, including last week's video and my Patreon hangout that happened this week. That's pretty freaking good. I'll be honest, I don't expect to hit that number every single week. I mean, I had to put in a lot of work over the weekend to do it, which I don't want to do going forward. But I finished the Cloak of Red audiobook. It is done. And I finished the first episode of Hellskin, the next novel of Underrealm, and that is on my Patreon right now. So this whole episode thing is going to be new to most of you, but in fact it is very, very old history when it comes to Underrealm and to legacy books. When I originally released Nightblade, Mystic, and Darkfire, the first 3 books of Underrealm, they were not released as books, but split up and released a piece at a time. I split each book up into 8 episodes and published each one for 99 cents. Readers could read the book week to week like episodes of a TV show. And then, after all 8 episodes were done, I packaged the whole thing up and sold it as a single novel. Well, around about the time I was working on Shadeborn, serialization really stopped working as a business model. Amazon changed their rules and their algorithm, like they do, and it became impossible to sell enough 99-cent episodes to really earn a living doing this. But I've always still really liked serialized books. I liked the experience of getting a book a week at a time, following along with the story like event television. And it makes me way, way more productive, because there's a real sense of accomplishment that comes with finishing those smaller chunks of story that build up to the much bigger story. So I'm going back to serialized storytelling for Underrealm, and it starts today. Literally right now. Starting today, every supporter of mine on Patreon will be getting episodes of Underrealm books as I complete them, which should be every Friday for like 2 months, and then a month break before I am able to start releasing the next one. And the first one is up at this very moment. It's Hellskin episode 1, and if you're my supporter on Patreon, it's already there, waiting for you to read it. And again, this is available to all my Patreon supporters. Even if you only support for $1 a month, you'll be able to read every Underrealm episode as I release it. Forever. So, if you want to be one of the first people to read the next book of Underrealm as I write it, click on the link in the description below. I really hope you enjoyed the story. One more thing I want to talk about before ending off for today. We hit another milestone last week, which is that this channel passed 6,000 subscribers. That's pretty cool. I'm happy you're all here. I've been doing this vlog for about 6 years, which means that on average, I've gained about 1,000 subscribers a year, or like a little under 3 per day. And like, I'm the first to recognize that a subscriber count doesn't really mean all that much, but it does still mean a lot to me that y'all keep clicking on that button, that even for a moment you were like, I want to see more videos from this massive dork. And for my part, I promise to continue being a massive dork and seeing you here every Friday. I hope you enjoy the ride. That's all I've got for you today, Rebel. Don't forget, if you support me on Patreon, even for only $1 a month, you get access to every episode of Underrealm I publish to my supporters. If you want to be one of those awesome and incredibly attractive individuals, click on the Patreon link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Friday. Bye!